Mercury's part of the family of inner planets that includes the Earth. It is the smallest, and it's extreme in several respects. It's made out of the densest material. It's a very unusual relationship between its spin rate and its orbital period. It's closest to the sun and interacts most strongly with changes in solar activity. So Mercury tests all of our ideas for how Earth-like planets form and evolve. Because it is extreme, it really pushes the level of our understanding. Once we're in orbit, we've got a very complicated scenario of observations that have all been pre-programmed to address all of the questions that the mission has set out to answer. We're looking at the composition of the planet, and we'll be watching the equivalent of atmospheric weather, and we'll be watching Mercury's magnetosphere, which is the envelope of space that surrounds the planet, that contains the planetary magnetic field, but that is also the boundary between the influence of the sun and the interplanetary medium and the influence of the planet. And that boundary gives rise to waves, to transfer of magnetic energy, to very rapid dynamic phenomena that involve processes with which we are familiar at Earth, but at Mercury happen much faster and at much higher magnitude. When Mariner 10 viewed Mercury for the first time, it of course made some great discoveries, but it raised a host of questions that we've waited now 35 years to answer with the Messenger mission. When we go into orbit for the first time for any spacecraft, we'll be collecting global data on the surface, on the interior, on the atmosphere, on the magnetosphere, but we're not going to answer all the questions. We're going to raise new ones. And so there's going to be ample opportunity for follow-on missions. We started the Messenger mission as a concept, as a proposal to NASA 15 years ago. It was approved for launch 12 years ago. We launched 6.5 years ago, and the whole goal of the mission was to get into orbit and to make observations from orbit. So we have been building for this orbit insertion and for the observations that will follow for a decade and a half. To say that the science team is excited about what will come is a huge understatement.